Hello, friends, and welcome to this impromptu free workshop called Scale Like a Boss. Thank you for joining me. I am a little bit late because Facebook and Zoom did not want me to be great, but I'm going to be great anyway. So I'm using my iPad and I'm going live directly from the iPad rather than using Zoom. So we're going to test this out and hopefully this works because I actually want to share my screen with you guys to show you the steps that you want to take, the exact 9 steps that you need to take in order to scale your business like a boss. So if you want to make more money, you're in the right place. We're going to talk about exactly how to do that. So welcome in. I have my Lizzo candle. So all is right in the world. She's watching over us as we prepare to get this money. Okay. All right. So today, this workshop is called Scale Like a Boss, and I decided to just do it impromptu. I've actually been on fire all day today. I don't know if it's doing YouTube videos that I've just started doing every day or the vigorous walk I took this morning /run/jog. But I'm feeling so fired up. And I also had a session with Parker, who is my bookkeeper and accountant. And he gave me all of this data about, what we did in 2019 in my business. And it really made me feel like, oh, damn, I'm good, if I do say so myself. And he did say to me, he said, what you've accomplished this year is pretty remarkable. And I'll tell you why. It's not just about revenue numbers. It's about profit numbers. It's about building a team. It's about having a balanced and sustainable business that can continue to grow, right? Because a lot of us will just talk about revenue all day long like nothing else matters, when the reality is the sustainability of making that revenue. If you make a lot of revenue once, that's nice, but mortgages are due every month. Hello, right? So we need to do better than just making that money once. We need to do better than just having one big launch. We need to be able to have sustainable revenue and be able to build a team, right? And be able to rely on that recurring revenue. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about that today. So how do you actually build that kind of business where you can be making 7 figures or multiple 7 figures? What does that actually look like? So I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to build a scalable and sustainable business right now. All right. So we're going to do an assessment. And by the end of this workshop, you are really going to understand what is wrong in your business, what's not working, and where you need to put your attention. And before you start to feel bad about your business, I just want you to know that if you have a growing business, you should be breaking it all the time, right? If you have, a business that is growing in terms of your marketing is doing really well and you're selling a whole bunch of your stuff, then you have a delivery problem and you're probably breaking the back end of your business. You probably have a team that's maxed out or you're maxed out and you need to start hiring people, right? You probably are maxing out in your programs and don't have enough time to deliver on the level that you want to, and your customer service is just starting to take a nosedive a little bit, right? If you, are killing it with sales, right, you're going to have a delivery problem. And if you're killing it with delivery and your program is so amazing, people are talking about it, they're spreading the word, right? And then you might have a marketing problem or a sales problem. You have so many leads coming in, but you don't have enough time to be able to do sales calls with them, right? That's a different problem that you can have. But really, all of the parts of your business, right? The marketing, the sales, the delivery, that is what makes up your business. And, if you're killing it in one area, you're probably in the process or about to break another area. And that's why we need coaching, right? That's why we need masterminds. We need to share information, and we need to be always growing and always learning and improving what we're building, because we're always going to break it. That's just that's what we signed up for when we became entrepreneurs. So just know that and don't feel bad about it. Feel good about the fact that you are growing a business, because that's exciting. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about your business and what we're going to do. All right. So just know that I won't be looking at you because I'm going to be drawing hopefully decent circles. And these look pretty good so far. So what I want for you, oops, let me draw that again. What I want for you more than anything else is to be $1 million badass. Okay. $1 million badass, just like my shirt says, okay? So what is $1 million badass? $1 million badass is somebody who is building a successful business, right? And is killing it. Okay. So that means that you have the revenue, you have the dollars, right? No more feast or famine. You have reliable, recurring revenue in your business, right? And you feel like you're killing it and you really see the financial fruits of your labor, because I bet you there are a few people here who, you know, are working hard in your businesses, but you are struggling, right? You might be working hard in your business, but you feel like you're not really seeing the financial results of all of that hard work, okay? The other thing about $1 million badass, though, is that you're also living it, right? And that means you're not just making a bunch of money, because we all know those people who make a lot of money, but then they are working nonstop all the time and they're fucking exhausted, right? We don't want to be those people, okay? We could have a corporate job and work. I could go work at a law firm and like hustle my little heart out, right? I definitely could be doing that in my business as well. And I have done that in my business, and it's not sustainable, right? We have a finite amount of energy. So not only do we want to make great money, but we also want to be able to enjoy the money that we're making and actually live, right? Actually spend time with friends and family and just enjoy our lives. So living it is an important part of the journey, okay? And then the last piece that $1 million badass is experiencing is owning it. And that means you're having a massive impact on the market. You're making the world a better place, right? You're well known, your business is well known, you are serving people, you are helping people accomplish big goals, you are changing the world for the better, right? What I'm busy doing is making women millionaires, right? Like that is my goal, and that's what I'm working on, is always helping women entrepreneurs make more money. I'm very specific and focused on that goal, and I do feel like it makes the world a better place, right? So that is my contribution to society that I am making, and that matters. Impact matters. So if you're just out here making a bunch of money, right, and it's not, you know, if you're making a bunch of money, typically they go hand in hand, right? That's why they overlap. So if you're making a bunch of money, you're probably making an impact on the world. You're probably serving and helping a lot of people. And if you aren't, you probably feel shitty about it, okay? Because all of those things matter. We want to do work that is impactful. We want to make good money, and we want to enjoy our lives, right? Like that's not too much to ask. I know that some people make you feel like it is. It's not. It's so doable. And so here's what happens. In order to become $1 million badass, you need three things. So one, you need identity, right? Your business needs a very crystal clear identity. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And who do you do it for, right? If your people don't know that, you will not be making money, or you'll be struggling to make money. And you might think your people know that, and they don't, okay? And that's why they're not buying from you. So we'll talk a little bit more about identity in a minute. You also need intellectual property. And I really wish there were more business coaches and strategists that talk about IP. My past life, for those of you that don't know, is I was an intellectual property lawyer. So intellectual property, I understand it is the lifeblood of a business, right? It's like gold or like striking oil, right? That is the value that exists in your business is IP, right? So how are we going to create IP that generates revenue for us consistently without us having to, you know, shed blood, sweat, and tears in order for it to make money for us? So your business needs intellectual property, and then your business lastly needs implementation. So you need a method for implementing, right? A system for getting things done, right? So your brand, your identity is very important. The intellectual property in your business makes up the offers, right? This is why people come to you, because they're buying a system. Okay, that's what people want to buy from you, a system to solve their problems. And then implementation, you have to have a strategy for how you're going to consistently deliver. Otherwise, your business will not be sustainable. Okay, so here's what's going to happen if you don't have these three things. If you don't have an identity, you're going to stay invisible. Okay. No one enjoys being the world's best kept secret. Who cares if you're amazing at what you do if nobody knows about it, right? So your business needs an identity to become well known. In order to attract a large audience, you have to have a specific identity that you are putting out into the world, all right? If you don't have intellectual property, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna stay broke. You know why? Because there's only so many hours that you can sell in a day. So you don't want the only way that you make money is when you show up somewhere, right? It needs to be a system, an intellectual property, a framework that can make you money, right? Like Beyonce, when she is chilling off the coast of San Tropez in her yacht, right? She's still making money because her albums are being sold and her music is being played, right? She's going to lay that track one good time. And then, right, she's going to continue to make money off of it for years to come. And you can do this exact same thing, okay? You are going to lay the track once, right? Work hard once to create the framework, to create the intellectual property, and then you can keep capitalizing on that intellectual property for years, right? So this is how we get beyond just working the amount of hours we can work in a day and start to make money even when we're sleeping. Okay, so intellectual property is the key to wealth, and implementation. So you need implementation, and if you don't implement and have a strategy for consistently implementing, you are going to stay small, right? So you're not going to have the impact that you want to have on the world. You're not going to help people. You're not going to have people writing to you telling you, oh my God, that thing you did, it changed my life, right? And that's part of what we want, right? That's like a human innate need that we have, is to contribute, right? We want to be contributors. So that is another part of it. All right. So now you understand being $1 million badass requires identity, intellectual property, and implementation. Now let's break those things down so you can really understand what that means. All right. So identity, let's start with that and break that down into 3 things. So the first thing is you got to build your brand. Okay. So building your brand means that what you stand for is really clear to your customer, right? They understand your values, they understand your story, they know exactly who your ideal client is, and they know exactly what you do. Anybody here know Danielle Leslie? Have you guys heard of her? Or Marie Forleo? Those are 2 great examples of women who sell one main thing, and all they talk about is the one main thing that they do, right? They are an expert in that one thing, and they will shove it down your throat all day long, right? And that's what we need to do as businesses. We need to be really clear. If you are selling this and you're selling that, I have, clients that have come to me and they're like, well, I'm a travel agent, but I'm also a life coach, and I'm also a copywriter. And it's like, honey, I need you to pick one. Okay, pick one. You've got to be able to build a brand that is specific and that is clear, right, to your customer. Otherwise, they're not going to buy from you because somebody else is being clear. And they want to make sure that their problem is going to be solved. And if you're all over the place and you're not really focused on this one thing, then they're not going to trust you to solve that problem, right? So you got to be able to build a brand that has a clear values, that shares your story and who you are. People need to know you. If you're not sharing your photos and your stories with, your audience, then they are not going to buy from you. They need to know you in order to trust you, and they need to trust you in order to buy from you. Okay. So all of that is super important. All right. So you got to build your brand. Then the other thing you need to do is call your fans. Okay. So you are calling in your people. You want to sort, not sell. When you are very specific in the identity of your business, then you can call to the specific people that you want to serve and work with, and everybody else is sent away, right? As much as we all pretty much hate, not pretty much, we all hate Donald Trump. He is extremely good at this, right? He speaks to his specific audience and fuck everybody else, which is horrible for a president, but excellent for a business owner, okay? So that's what you want to be doing, not really caring if people who are cursory to your brand, I see this with attorneys all the time, right? You are marketing yourself, but you're doing it in a way that, oh, I want to seem professional and I want to impress other lawyers, right? And I want other lawyers to be impressed with my website, and I'm talking to other lawyers all the time. And it's like, no. Stop talking to lawyers. They're not buying your shit. Talk to the ideal client. Stop using legalese. Stop showing off where you went to school or how intelligent you are or whatever. Like, no one cares, right? What your clients care about is, can you solve their problems? So speak to them in the language that they understand and stop trying to impress other people, okay? So call your fans is a big important thing, and you need to call in your fans regularly. If you want a flood of leads coming your way, then you have to be very specific about who you're serving, right? If you're talking to everybody, you will not get a flood, you'll get a trickle. And a trickle is whack. Okay? Who here currently has a trickle and they'd like a flood instead? Feel free to share. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you guys about how to call your fans in a minute. And then find your rhythm. Find your rhythm is the last piece of building an identity for your business. Okay, so finding your rhythm, what that means is you have a system to regularly communicate your brand, right? So you're communicating your brand to your fans on a regular basis. All right, so again, if you want that flood of leads, then you have to do a flood of marketing, okay? And it doesn't have to be hard, right? Anybody who has tried to start exercising when you're not, or you haven't been exercising for a while, building that habit seems impossible. It seems so difficult. It seems so hard. Oh my God, how am I going to do it? Right? But the reality is it's not that hard. You just have to create a habit out of it. And you have to do the same thing with your marketing. You have to create a habit out of talking to your people, engaging like I'm doing right now, right? Whether it's YouTube videos or sending out emails or hosting a podcast, or Instagram, you can choose what your medium is going to be, but then you need to show up there consistently. And that's pretty much a daily basis, okay? Because if you don't show up for your ideal clients, they ain't gonna show up for you. All right, so it goes both ways. We want all the riches in the world, but we don't wanna have to do any work. And it's like, honey, that ain't gonna happen. So let's face reality. Let's recognize what we need to do. Let's figure out a way to do it that feels good to us. If you hate video and the idea of doing video makes you want to vomit, cool, do a podcast. If you're an amazing writer and you love to write, send emails, right? Like write a blog. You can choose what method works for you, but you have to show up consistently, okay? So let's talk about intellectual property. One of my favorite topics. Okay. So intellectual property breaks down this way. Finesse your framework. Is the first step. Now, finesse your framework. What that means is that you have a clear framework, a model that you use to get people results. People want to purchase a system, right? They want to purchase a system that works. They want to know that you've thought through this, that you've done enough of this work, that you have, from working with so many clients or from having the experience that you have, getting the degrees, getting the certifications. Women entrepreneurs don't have that problem, right? Y'all got all the certifications, y'all got every degree, you've climbed all of them corporate ladders, right? So you have a ton of experience, but how are you finessing that experience into a framework that gets your client from A to B, right? Your client is here and they want to be over here, right? And you're the person that helps them get over here, but you have to show them, how are you going to do that? What I'm drawing out for you right now, this is a framework, okay? So you need to have a framework for how you serve your clients. All right, that's an important piece of this. So you gotta have an awesome model that you use, a system that you use, like Brooke Castillo has the model, right? And if you think of some of the entrepreneurs that you follow that are really big, they have a system and that's what they're selling. They're selling the system. That is the intellectual property in the business. And the system can be sold even when you're not there, even when you're not available, even when you're off on vacation for a month, right? Or if you're busy having a baby like Jen. Okay. All right. So that's finesse your framework. The next piece is fill your flagship. Okay. So a flagship is an offer that you have that generates at least 80% of your revenue. Okay. I just got off a session with my bookkeeper and $1 Million Badass, which is my main, that's my mastermind. That's my flagship offer. $1 Million Badass generated, 80% of our revenue last year. 20% of it came from all the other offers we have. 80% of it came from my mastermind, because that is my flagship offer. So that's what a flagship offer does for you. You can get to $1 Million Badass made well over $1 million last year. Danielle Leslie made, 4 million from one course. My friend Robert made over $1 million from one main program. So you don't need to sell 17 different things. And in fact, if you're selling 17 different things, that's a message to me that you don't have a system. right? That's why you're selling all the things, because you don't have a system to sell. So you're selling all these things, you're sowing your wild oats everywhere, and nobody knows who you are or what you stand for. And so then they don't trust you, right, to do the work to get them to be. All right. So you want to have one main offer in your business that is generating 80% of your revenue. And guess what? This is fantastic news. You know why? Because it's way easier to deliver one offer in a killer way than it is to try to deliver 7 different offers and sell each one, market each one, deliver each one, and not want to blow your brains out because you're going to be freaking exhausted. Okay. So if you want to save some time and energy, do one thing and don't do all the things. Okay. So the next thing is pimp your product. Okay. So your product is a scalable, passive, hands-off offer that leads to your flagship. And that'll generate around 20% of your revenue, possibly more in some cases, but typically it's 20%. And the whole purpose of it is to get people a result, get people experiencing your system, your model, your intellectual property, your framework, right? And then because they get a result with experiencing your system in a smaller way, now they're ready to deepen the relationship and continue, right? It's just like dating, like they need to go out on a couple of dates with you before they're ready to say, yes, I want to get engaged. So this is an opportunity for people to get a taste of your work. And I'll give you an example of this. When I was running my law practice, I created a product called Small Business Bodyguard, which still makes me money today, which is awesome, right? I created it 7 years ago today, guys, 2013. Damn, that's crazy. Anyway, so Small Business Bodyguard, what that did was it enabled people who were not ready to hire an attorney to still get some contract templates, still get a step-by-step of how to do all of the legal foundational pieces in their business. And then, they would, do some of it, implement some of it. They might create their LLC. They might draft a contract for themselves. And then they get their business to a certain point and they're like, actually, I don't want to do any more of this myself. I'm going to go ahead and hire you in your law firm in your long-term, year-long program where I can get all of my stuff done. And so that was my flagship. My flagship was my annual program. That was, essentially a retainer system where I did a certain amount of work for them over the course of a year, and they paid me a couple $1,000s a month. And that was my flagship offer. That's where 80% of my revenue in my law firm came from. And the other 20% was from Small Business Bodyguard. And Small Business Bodyguard, I was getting paid to market, right? Because essentially it was like deepening the relationship with my client. They spend a little bit of money, $1,000, and they get an amazing result. And therefore they build that trust with me. They know me better. And as a result, they trust me with their legal work, right? They trust me with the next level, which is my flagship. Is this all making sense for you guys? Let me know. Oh, awesome. Martini says, I took Small Business Bodyguard. It was awesome. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's talk about implementation. So when it comes to implementing in your business, you need to do a couple of things. The first thing is work your strengths. Okay. And what that means is you need to be working in your strengths 80% of the time or more in your business. And you might not be there when you're early on in your business, but you want to get there. Okay. And what that means is you double down on what you're already good at. All that shit that you suck at, that you struggle with, that you don't want to be doing, stop doing it. Don't do it anymore, right? Just do the things that you are amazing at. If you're a show pony and you want to be on video and you want to be on stages and you want the world to see you and you want to spread your message and inspire people, be the show pony, right? Show pony all day long and let your team run the system and run the back end of your business, okay? If you love systems and setting up processes and managing your team and doing the back end of your business and you don't want to be a show pony, guess what? That's an option too, okay? Hire somebody else to be a show pony. A perfect example of this is ConvertKit. And they were doing this for years before they were like a huge multi-million-dollar software company. Nathan didn't want to do webinars. And so he hired somebody else to do it. He also hired somebody else to run their podcast that they had for a little while, right? You can do that. You don't have to be the show pony for your business. You can put somebody else out there and they can show pony for your business. All right. So all these different aspects of your business, marketing, sales, delivery, any part of it can be outsourced, and you want to spend most of your time doing what you're great at. Chances are you've gotten this far in your business based on what you're great at. So stay focused on that and build a team around you that can do the other things. All right, which brings me to the next step. So work your strengths, focus on what you're great at is a big part of your implementation strategy. Don't try to get good at shit that you are horrible at. Like, it ain't gonna happen. Why bother, right? Stay in your zone of genius. That's where your money is at, okay? All right, so the next step, obviously, if you're gonna work your strengths, you gotta top your team. And that means that you are building a team of A players, right? That do all the things that you don't want to do or that you're not great at. And this means no task left behind. You don't just need a virtual assistant part-time, right? Like, you need somebody to do all the different things that you don't want to be doing. And a lot of times they will do it better than you will, right? Because if you're not great at it, they're going to do it better. And even the things you are good at, but that aren't your zone of genius, they're going to do it better. I hired associates in my law firm that were better lawyers than me, right? I was a better CEO. I was a better manager of the business. I was great at marketing and sales and bringing business in, but I wasn't great at meeting those deadlines, of which there were many. I might be a really good writer, so I was good at writing persuasive briefs, but I took forever to actually get them done because I was procrastinating because I didn't want to do them, right? So you need to build a team. If you are on here right now and you think that you're going to build this empire that as a solopreneur, I'm telling you, you're wrong. It's not going to happen, okay? Like, I believe in you, but I don't believe in that. You know why? Because you'll build that 7-figure business by yourself eventually, but you will be exhausted and miserable and you'll hate it and you'll be looking for a way out, okay? And you'll be spending all this money trying to solve that problem. So why do that? Just go ahead and top your team. Build a team, and a team of A players, not B and C players, okay? People want to work for small businesses. People are looking to escape corporate America, okay? So there are lots of talent out there that is ready and willing to work for you and work from home and have all the benefits of working for a mission-driven business like yours, all right? All right, so let's talk about the last piece of implementation. It is sort your systems. I don't know why I can't get this out of there. We go. Sort your systems. All right. And what that means is that you have systems, standard operating procedures, right? So the Frappuccino is made the same every single time. Your business needs to have processes, okay? And if you are out there and you hate systems, which, trust me, I used to be one of those people. I'm like, ugh, the last thing I want to do on earth is write a standard operating procedure. That sounds like a nightmare, right? But I've learned to love them. You know why? Because it makes me efficient. And when I'm efficient, when my team is efficient, we make more money. Because inefficiency costs you money, all right? When you're not on point, when you have to do it again and again, when you can't figure out how the fuck to connect your Zoom and your Facebook Live or whatever, like y'all just saw me do at the beginning of this workshop, right? Then it costs you time, it costs you money, it costs you team time that you're paying people to get things done. Okay, so setting up systems in your business is really important. And if you hate it, cool, right? Top your team, right? Get people that you can hire that can help you systematize your business, but having systems and processes. So these are the 9 elements, and I'm sorry, I wrote them a little too big. Let me see if I can make that smaller. There we go, so you can see everything. So these are the 9 elements of a 7-figure business. This is how you get to 7 figures, whether you're at 0 right now, whether you're at 100K or 250, wherever you ended 2019 at, it's the same exact path. This is the path. These are the elements that you need to get to 7 figures. All right. So let's talk about how far you are along the way. All right. Let's talk about the pieces of your business that maybe could use some work. All right. So here's my question for you. I want to do an assessment. Everybody down with that? This is going to be an assessment that's going to help you see which elements of these you're doing great at and which elements of these that you really need to work on that you are like completely destroying. Okay. And it's fine. Remember I said, like, if your business is broken, that's a good thing, right? That means that you're growing. Okay. And some of this is just like, you don't know what you don't know. We don't come out of the womb knowing how to grow a business, but we expect ourselves to be experts on day one, and it just doesn't work that way. Okay. And that's why coaching and reading books and coming to trainings like this is what you need to do to be able to educate yourself and learn the strategies, right, from people who have already done it. But let's get this party started. So we were going to do the really juicy part of this workshop next, which is an assessment, okay? And so the assessment will allow you to see how your business is doing on all of these different areas and which one needs the most attention in your business. I'm also going to share with you which elements of this framework will give you the most bang for your buck, right? The ones that will help you to scale the fastest and help you to increase your revenue the fastest, okay? So come on back in and we'll get this assessment going, okay? Hi, Karen. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jen. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I know it's been a little bit of a challenge. Hi, Amy. Just let me know if you are hearing me and if you're seeing my screen still, and then we'll get the assessment going, which is the most juicy part. So we can't miss that, right? So just let me know in the comments that you're here and you're hearing me and you're seeing my screen, and we'll get the party started. Hi, Leandra. Hi, Myrna. Hi, Michaela. Welcome. Hi, Mary Alice. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, everybody. Hi, Leah. We are not letting technology stop us today, you guys. Awesome. All right. So let's do this assessment because I think it's going to be a lot of fun and very enlightening for you guys. All right. So let's look at, hi, Maria, welcome back. All right, so let's look at your business. Let's do this assessment and see what is not working currently in your business and what is actually preventing you from becoming $1 million badass and having the 7-figure business that you want, right? Let's find out which specific of these areas need the most work in your business, all right? And then I'll also share which parts are going to make the biggest difference for you and the one thing that I would recommend that you take action on that will move the needle the most, okay? All right, so let's talk about building your brand, all right? So get ready because we're gonna assess where you're at with building your brand. All right, so building your brand. Here's a question that I have for you. And you're gonna rate yourself green, yellow, or red. So do your fans know who your ideal clients are? Could they tell you specifically who your ideal clients are? That means the audience that you have access to. Can they recite who you serve, right? Can they recite what your values are? Have you communicated the values of yourself and your business to your audience? And have you shared your personal story? Those are the different elements that make up your brand. Okay, and your clients and your potential clients need to know it like the back of their hand because they're the ones that are going to refer you. And they need to know you personally, right, in order to trust you, and they need to trust you in order to buy from you. All right. So if you said yes, that my audience knows who, I communicate very clearly who my ideal client is. I'm very clear about my personal values, and I'm very clear about my personal story. Okay, then you're green for this. All right, so raise your hand if you're green, or just let me know in the chat, type green so I know that you're green. If your clients know 2 out of 3, so maybe you are very clear about your ideal clients, but you're kind of not sharing your personal values, and you are sharing your personal story, but not your personal values, like you're scared to tell people where you stand in politics or on certain issues that come up in your industry, right? What your strong opinions are, then you would be yellow. So that'd be 2 out of the 3. And you're a red if you only have less than 2, right? So if you have 1 or none, if you haven't been doing any of those things. So let me know in the comments right now, are you green, yellow, or red? All right. Mary Alice says green. Awesome. Myrna says green. Fantastic. What about the rest of you guys? Yellow, red, or green? All right. This is something that I think women tend to be really good at branding. And so I find that this is usually one that's either green or yellow, but there are some other areas here that we tend to struggle with. All right. So we've got a couple greens. We've got some yellows. All right. We've got more yellows than green so far. So I'm going to color us in as yellow. Ooh. All right, so we're yellow there. All right, now let's move on to the next one. Call your fans. Do you have 1,000 qualified leads coming into contact with your business every single month? If yes, you're a green. All right, 1,000 qualified leads. That means they are either joining your free Facebook group or they are joining your mailing list or booking sales calls, right? Like you've got 1,000 leads. And yes, that is reasonable, okay? And yes, that is what's required to build a 7-figure business. So do you have at least 1,000 leads coming into your business every single month? If yes, you're green. If you've got at least 500 leads coming into your business every month, then you are yellow, and anything less than 500 a month is red. All right, so which one are you on Call Your Fans? Green, yellow, or red? Hey, Trudy, welcome. All right, so we've got a couple reds here. And this is a really important piece of scaling your business, right? You've got to have the audience. All right, we got red, red. Myrna says green, fantastic. Amy says red, Tamika says red. All right, so we are mostly red, so I'm gonna color us in red for Call Your Fans. All right, now let's talk about finding your rhythm. All right, so with finding your rhythm, remember, this is really, how are you showing up? How often are you showing up in your marketing, right? What is your strategy around that? So finding your rhythm, here's the question. Do you communicate your brand, right? The identity of your business, what you do, what your expertise is, with your fans, right? With your audience on a daily basis. If you are showing up and communicating and engaging with your ideal clients on a daily basis, then you're green. If you are doing it on at least a weekly basis, you are yellow, and anything less than weekly is red. Okay, so let me know when it comes to finding your rhythm, are you green, yellow, or red? Okay, and that means like if you've got a newsletter that, if you're sending out a newsletter once a week, you'd be yellow, right? If you've got a podcast, or you have a video blog, or you show up on Instagram once a week, right? Or in your Facebook group once a week, then you would be yellow. But if you are showing up every day, if you're sending emails 3 times a week, if you've got a podcast you're dropping, if you've got videos that you're sharing regularly, if you are showing up daily in one way or another, right, in your marketing for your ideal clients, then you're green. Anything less than weekly, you're red, all right? So let's see. Mary Alice says yellowish green. Leandra says yellow. Amy says green. Myrna says yellow. Tamika says yellow and red. Yeah, how you yellow and red? Is it weekly or not? We've got some yellow. Okay, so it looks like we're all over the place, but I think we are mostly yellow on this, all right? Now, again, remember that if you want a flood of potential clients coming your way and a flood of new clients buying your stuff, then you need to put out a flood of marketing, and that means showing up daily. And the way that you do that without working so hard and without exhausting yourself is creating a system around it, okay? Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna color us in yellow for that. All right, let's talk about intellectual property. Let's talk about finessing your framework, all right? So are all of your offers based on one model, one system, one intellectual property framework, right? That means that everything that you sell is really a piece of your framework, all right? If that's the case, then you are green. If you've got at least your flagship offer is based on your framework, then you're yellow. And if you don't know what a framework is and don't have a framework, then you would be red, okay? So tell me yellow, green, or red, let me know. So green, again, remember, is that all of your offers in your business are based on your one main flagship, your one main framework. Yellow is your flagship offer is based on your framework. And red is you don't have a framework and you don't have offers based on it. All right, so we've got yellow, 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 red. Okay. So yellow means, guys, that means that you've got a flagship offer that is based on your framework, all right? And that's really great. I mean, that's a lot of progress. Leandra says she's green on this. That's fantastic. Anybody else sharing? Are you yellow, green, or red on this? I think we're leaning towards yellow on the finesse your framework. All right, so I'm gonna color us in yellow. So the next thing is filling your flagship, all right? This is the sexy, juicy part, right? Because this is where a lot of money gets made. All of these are essential to making money, but this is the part that we tend to focus on the most, and we forget about the rest of all of these things that we need to be doing. So in terms of filling your flagship, that means that you have a leveraged offer that brings in 80% or more of your revenue. You're green, right? So if you've got one main offer that is leveraged, that doesn't make you cry at night because you're so exhausted, okay, but is bringing in 80% of your revenue, then you're going to be green on filling your flagship, all right? If you've got a flagship offer, but it's not quite bringing in 80% of your revenue, maybe it's bringing in at least 60% of your revenue, then you'd be yellow. And if you've got a flagship offer or you don't have a flagship offer at all, and if your flagship offer is bringing in anything less than 60% of your overall revenue, then I would consider it not a flagship for that reason, and then you'd be red. All right, so which one are you guys on this? Do you have a main flagship offer that is generating 80% of your revenue or more? We've got some reds, we've got some yellows. Mary Alice says, I struggle with how to apply this to a product-based business. So a product-based business, you would have one main product that is your money maker. So you'll find that even in retail, when you are selling a product, typically you've got one main product that really does generate a lot of the revenue for your business. You might also have a product subscription, right? Or you might have like a category or suite of products. So you can decide based on specifically what you sell, what that is, but every business has that one thing that generates the vast majority of their revenue, and that is their sort of like their reliable money maker, okay? Allison says, I don't have a flagship yet. Still working on that. Okay, so you'd be a red on this. Julie says green. Leandra says red. We've got a lot of reds. All right, so I think we're a red on this. So creating a flagship, and incidentally, this is one of the things that you can do that will really move the needle in your business, all right, and really change things financially for you. I love that, Mary Alice. We have one dress that kills it. Exactly, right? So like, how could you double down on marketing that one dress and like have every woman in the world wearing that dress, you know, and some gentlemen too, you know? How can you do that? All right, so that's fill your flagship. Let's talk about pimp your product, all right? Do you have a DIY offer that generates 20% of your revenue and leads to your flagship, that it is a prelude to your flagship offer, right? And that would be green. Maybe you have a DIY offer, but it doesn't lead to your flagship. I'm sorry, you have a DIY offer that does lead to your flagship, but it makes less than 20% of your revenue. That would be yellow. And then if you don't have a DIY product at all, or it doesn't clearly lead to your flagship offer, then you'd be red. So let me know, where are we at on pimping our products? We've got, Michaela says green, awesome. Fantastic, Michaela, you did your glow up work. Tamika says red. Where are we at, guys, with pimping our products? Do you have a product that leads to your flagship offer? So for example, you know, myself and a lot of my clients and some of my peers as well, right? We have a, you know, main flagship offer, and then we've got another offer that leads to the flagship. And therefore you're usually seeing like a 30% or more upsell rate, right? Like 30% of the people who are purchasing your product are then interested in deepening the relationship with you, and then they purchase the next thing from you, okay? Your flagship. So we've got red, we've got a green, we've got red, 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 yellow, okay? All right, so I think we're red on pimping our product. But isn't this helpful so far, guys? So you can see specifically where your business needs a little bit of work. All right, so let's talk about implementation, working your strengths. This is really simple. First of all, you need to know what your strengths are. So if you haven't taken Strengths Finders and DISC and, you know, some other assessments out there to really get a sense of like, what am I really good at? If it's not already clear to you, then you should definitely be taking those assessments because they help you. We actually have a certified Strengths Finders coach named Latondra that's on my team and that works with our clients, because this is so important to really understand what you're really good at. So are you working in your strengths 80% of the time or more? When you sit down to your desk each day, are you doing the things that are really like going to move the needle for you, you are really genius at 80% of the time? If that's the case, you're green. If you are able to work in your strengths at least 60% of the time, you're yellow. And if it's anything less than that, then you're red. All right. So for example, right, I spend my day basically doing this, right? So I'm like recording a podcast, I'm leading a group coaching session for my mastermind, I'm recording a video, you know, for YouTube, I'm doing this workshop with you guys. This is what I spend my day doing, right? facing clients, talking to potential clients, and just being in front of people, because that is how I add the most value to my business, right? I don't add the most value like crunching numbers or like, creating spreadsheets. You know what I mean? And that's super valuable work too, you guys. It's just not my zone of genius, but I have other geniuses on my team who are magic at that. And so they do that, right? And that is how we scale and grow. So this one is really important too. All of these are important, but this one is really important too. All right, so for this one, I think we've got red, 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 yellow, 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 yellow. Okay, so we're sort of split between yellow and red. Any a couple more want to share so that we can see which one we are? Or maybe we should make it orange. Mariella said green only because I delegated everything last week. All right, so I think we're going to make this yellow because it looks like we've gotten a couple more of those. All right. All right, so let's talk about topping your team. Topping your team means that you have a team of A players where no task is left behind. Every single task that needs to be accomplished in your business is assigned, okay? And you could leave the business for a couple of weeks and that business would be running, no problem. You would come back to a fully running situation happening. And that would be green, all right? If you've got A players on your team, but you couldn't leave for a month, like you're so crucial to the operations that it could not work without you, then you'd be yellow. And if you don't have a team or you don't have A players on the team only, then you'd be red. All right, so let me know, where are we at with topping our team? We've got a red. And this is so important, you guys. I, have gone on maternity leave when my son was born 18 months ago, and the business thrived and grew. Like they launched a new offer, my team, they sold out a live event, and my program continued to get delivered. Like everything happened that needed to happen. And I took 3 months off of working, and so that I could have my baby and focus on my baby for a little while. So really, like this, I know for me, when I was running my law practice, I was thinking about this, like this is a dream come true and I don't know how to get there, right? Even last year, or not last year, actually now I'm talking about 2018. So 2 years ago, that was, or 3 years ago, that was a dream to me to be able to have the business running and have revenue working well and have, clients get their needs met without me if needed, and now I can take like 2 weeks of vacation in the summer. I'm going to Hawaii for a week in February to work on my book. And I know that everything will be handled and I completely trust my team. They've got this and they kill it, right? And that is something that I know so many women want, and it's so possible. Okay, so top your team, where we're at on that. It looks like we've got red, yellow, red, red, red. Okay, so we are red on topping our team. This is crucial. All right, I just talked to one of my clients this morning about this, and I said to her, I said, what is the one thing that is in the way, or like the one thing that if you could get that dialed in or get that solved, you could generate 7 figures with your business? What is that one thing for you? And she said it was team. And I said, okay, cool. Who do we need on the team? And she's like, well, I'm going to hire for this, but I'm scared to hire for that. I'm not ready for that yet. So I'm just hire for this person. I'm going to wait on all these other things. And I'm like, yeah, no. Right? Like we're in it now. We're in 2020. If you want to hit 7 figures by the end of this year, let's make some moves right now. There's no like, oh, let's do it in 6 weeks. Oh, let's do it when I'm ready. Oh, I'm scared. So like, I'm gonna just be scared for 6 months and then fuck around for half the year. And then like maybe in, 9 months, I'll actually start to make some moves. You ain't gonna reach your goals that way, right? Like we got to hit the ground running and get to it. All right. And face those fears. If you want different results, you got to do different things, and you're going to have to stretch yourself and be uncomfortable. And this is an area where a lot of my clients really struggle with building a team. But the faster you build your team, the faster you will hit that 7 figures. You are not likely to do it alone. Okay. All right. Sort your systems. Our last one. So sorting your systems. Do you have a defined system for your marketing, sales and delivery in your business. All right. So that means you've got processes set up. There's a step-by-step process. There's probably some automation built in, and your business can run, right? And people know what to do and how to do it. Your team is able to implement, right, on your behalf. And this is part of the reason why you're able to leave for a month because you've got all of those different departments of your business dialed in and systematized. So if that's you, you're green. If you've got 2 out of those 3 departments dialed in and systematized, you're yellow. And if you've got less than 2 dialed in, you're red, okay? So again, marketing, sales, and delivery, do you have all 3 systematized? If yes, you're green. If 2 out of the 3, you're yellow. If only 1 or less, you're red. Myrna said, no, red, I'm so behind. Tamika said red. Thank you, Leandra. So Leandra said, we missed seeing your face, but your team did an awesome job in your absence. Booyah, straight from a client's mouth. So means so much. It really does. It is life-changing for you as an entrepreneur, and it's what makes entrepreneurship sustainable. If we don't get our businesses to that place, we are not going to do this for long. We're going to be like, fuck this and go get a job, which is not the end of the world, right? Like that's not a bad thing. Unless that's not what you want, right? But it's really hard to consistently grow your business if you are so exhausted, okay? So you got to have a team. Mary Alice says yellow, Amy says red, Leandra says red, Julie says red, Jen says new biz red, law firm green. Okay, cool. So it looks like we're red on the systems front. Okay, you guys, so this is your picture, right? You've got a clear picture. And if you've been following along and drawing this out for yourself, you'll have exactly what yours are. You'll know which segments of this are green, which segments are yellow, and which segments are red. All right, so I want to deliver on a couple of other promises that I made about this workshop. So one thing I said was that I wanted to tell you the areas where you can make the biggest difference, right? The things that are going to move the needle. If you want to hit 7 figures this year, these are the things that you should be focused on. So, and there's 2 of them that I would say, well, actually probably 3 that are the most important, okay? Damn, they're all important. Okay, but I'm going to just tell you these few. Okay, so 1, sorry. Let me go to my, back to my pencil. You got to fill your flagship. All right. So if you don't have a flagship offer that you are focused on and that is generating the majority of revenue for your business, then that is the move that you need to make. Create that one offer and sell the hell out of it. Talk about it all day, every day until you are blue in the face. Okay. Because that is what's going to move the needle in your business. It's going to make a big difference. If you have a suite of offers that you have right now, start editing down, right? Sell less. You can get to 7 figures selling a whole bunch of shit, but it's going to be way easier and way faster if you focus on selling one thing. All right. Now, when you get to 7 figures and you're making $1 million, if you want to start complicating your business and have 17 offers, cool. But if you're not at 7 figures yet, you have really no business having more than 2 offers, right? You should have 1 main flagship offer and 1 supporting offer, and that is it. If you're looking at a lot of entrepreneurs out here who are, like me, making multi-millions, right? Don't do what they're doing, right? Because what you do to scale from 2 million to 10 million is very different than what you do to scale from 100K to $1 million or from 50K to $1 million, okay? So do not overcomplicate your business if you're not at 7 figures yet, all right? So fill your flagship. And here's how you're gonna do that. You're going to find your rhythm, all right? So that is the next thing that you really need to do if you're not consistently showing up. If you are not a green on this, then you need to get busy, right? You need to get busy creating content and showing up consistently for your people in whatever medium you enjoy the most, whether that's podcasts or YouTube videos or Instagram posting or whatever, right? Writing a newsletter, writing a blog, a guest posting somewhere. Decide what your strategy is going to be and double down on it hardcore and make sure you're showing up every day for your people. If you want a flood of new clients coming your way, then you've got to do a flood of marketing. And there's just no way around it. And that is the hard work, right? That separates the $1 million businesses from the not $1 million businesses is, are you ready to do the fucking work, y'all? because that's what's required. Okay. You've got to be willing. If that's what it takes, it's like, here's the bad news. You got to put on your overalls and you got to get to work. And if it's like, damn, that's a bummer. I got to work harder. I don't really want to, but guess what? If that's what's required to have what I want, I'm gonna do that work. Let me go get my overalls, put my boots on, right? And get to it. Right? Because nobody is going to hand it to us. It's not going to happen any other way. There is no magic secret bullet other than hard work. But I will tell you that when you use this system, you're going to work hard once and you're not going to work hard for the rest of your life, right? You're not going to struggle and have long hours and be stressed out all the time. You're going to work hard in the beginning, and you might have some hustle in the beginning, but it's going to get easier because that work that you're doing right now, all that content that you've created, that framework that you've created, it will compound, right? And you'll start to pay interest, right? It'll start to pay dividends over the next few months and years as you consistently show up. Consistency is key, and it's the thing that most people don't want to do, all right? And they got every excuse in the world of why they can't do it. They have children. I have 4, by the way. They've got struggles. Yeah, welcome to my life. I'm a Black woman, right? Like whatever your bullshit excuse is, been there, done that. All right, have the t-shirt. So no one wants to hear it. And your excuses are not going to get you the results that you want. So you're either going to ready to do the work or you're not. That's it. So, all right, fill your flagship, find your rhythm, and top your team. And that means trusting other people. And that can be really scary. It means risking some revenue, right? You got to put some money down and pay other people to do work for you. But I'm telling you, this is the trifecta, man. This is where the magic happens to become $1 million badass, all right? You got to be willing to build a team and really do it the right way. I have a hiring system that I teach in my programs because most people hire the wrong way. Here's the wrong way to hire. Does anybody know somebody who can edit some videos for me? Does anybody know anyone who's a great virtual assistant, right? Don't post that on Facebook and think you're going to hire. That ain't hiring, right? That's throwing a dart at the wall and hoping it sticks, and we'll find out, right? And probably we'll waste some money along the way, right? If you're going to hire, do it the right way. Create a job description, interview people, make them jump through some hoops to make sure that they're really interested, right? Like really get focused on your hiring. Don't just hire 17 contractors who were recommended to you, okay? I've hired plenty of contractors that were recommended and did a terrible job. All right, so that's not how we hire. So those are the 3 things that I recommend that you do to make the biggest difference. And I want to tell you 2 more things. So one other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is our Hello 7 Incubator program, which is starting next week. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about was what to look for from a business coach. That I don't think people talk about this enough, and I want to share that with you as you guys are considering business coaches, because there's a lot of charlatans and a lot of BS people out there, and I'm not one of them, okay? But I want you to be able to have the information that you need to discern between the different business coaches and like, how do you know, right? It's not just about top line revenue. There are a lot of people out there who have very impressive revenue numbers, right? But then they pay 50% of that revenue out to an affiliate or a team of affiliates. And so what they actually have left to run their business is 50% of their revenue minus all the expenses, right? So you really need to know not just top line revenue, but you want to know, does your business coach have a solid team? Do they have constant turnover on their team? Do they have a team of people who are actually sticking around, right? Because that lets you know, are they capable of building a strong and sustainable business, right? Do they have a strong profit margin, right? If you're running an online-based like coaching business or service-based business, you know, you're looking at profit margins of at least 20 to 25%, I would say is modest. 30 to 40% is like baller, right? So that's what you want to do. My profit margin for those that you know, for last year was 32%. And what was really miraculous about that is that we maintained our strong profit margins, even though I went from 3 contractors to 12 full-time employees. And that means that I understand how to scale my team, scale the expenses of the business and the revenue in lockstep so that we never dip and fall, so that we don't get ourselves into trouble and don't wind up bankrupt. All right. Because scaling is serious business and you got to know what you're doing in the process. All right. How many offers do they have? If you are coaching with someone who has, you know, 30 different offers, a lot of times that's because they don't know what they're doing. And so they're just throwing darts at the wall and trying everything, trying to see what sticks, right? It's not strategic. So those are the things that you should be looking for in a business coach when you are looking to hire somebody to help you grow your business, is you want somebody that really that is where you're trying to be. Look at their life, right? Look at their schedule. Are they fucking on Instagram all day, every day? You can show up daily and create amazing content and engage with your people on a daily basis and not be hustling and exhausted and fucking FaceTiming and, Facebooking all night instead of hanging out with your kids, right? Like, so you want to make sure they have the lifestyle that you want. You want to make sure they've got a sustainable business model, and you want them to have some impressive revenue as well. Like, those are all things that are good signs of an awesome and solid business coach that's going to help you to get where you're trying to go. All right. If you're looking to get to 7 figures, that's what I would recommend. All right. So HSI, I want to tell you a little bit about it. Hello 7 Incubator is our new 9-month coaching program. It's for you if your business is not quite past like $150,000 in revenue yet. So if you don't have that strong recurring revenue and you want to have it, and you want to sort of have some guidance and some help going through each of these 9 steps, then Hello 7 Incubator is the perfect place for you to do that. What we are going to do is monthly trainings, right? And group coaching, co-working sessions. We have multiple retreats that will be part of this program. And what we're going to do as together is go through each of these together. So we're going to spend a month doing Build Your Brand, right? And helping you build out your brand. We're going to spend a month on Find Your Rhythm. We're going to spend a month on Fill Your Flagship. We're going to spend a month on helping you figure out how to top your team. We're going to spend a month on Pimp Your Product and Work Your Strengths and Finesse Your Framework. Okay. So over 9 months, we're going to walk through each of these pieces, and we're going to help you build your audience, where you're going to have thousands of people in your audience that you don't currently have, and know how to call your fans so you have a consistent, sustainable amount of new leads coming in every single month. You're going to be able to create a marketing system that works so you're not tired, but you are getting results. You are going to be able to create a framework, an intellectual property framework for your business, and build your offers on that. You will be able to work in your strengths more and create systems and build your team. So that's what we're going to do in this business and in this program. And there's some really amazing women in this group already. Like, a best-selling author has joined this program that her name. I'm not going to tell you who she is, but you're going to be excited when you get in there. And we just have so many incredible women that have joined that program. And I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's going to make a huge difference. So it starts next week. Next Thursday is when we start the orientation, right? And we've got 3 weeks of orientation. And then our first month, right, starts in February. So if you want to get in on this, now is the time. So what you need to do is fill out an application. So hopefully somebody on my team is here and can drop the link. Or I think they told me, what was it? Hold on, let me check my Stripe. Let me check my Slack channel. I want to say it's hello7.co/apply HSI. That's what it is. So hello7.co/apply HSI, Hello 7 Incubator HSI. All right. So that's all you have to do. Fill out the application. What's going to happen next is that Grace, my enrollment coach, is going to review your application and make sure you're a good fit. If she doesn't think you're a good fit, she's not going to waste your time and book a call. What she'll do is just go ahead and cancel the call that you've applied for. Okay. And if she does think that you're a good fit, you'll get on a call with her. She'll talk you through like your vision for your business and making sure that it's aligned with what we do and that we can actually help you scale. And if she thinks it's a good fit for you, then she will make the offer of the program and you'll have the opportunity to join. And right now, if you join over the next week, you will be able to get our Worthy course for free. So we're doing a money mindset course called Worthy that starts in February, and that has already been filled, but you actually get a bonus spot in the Worthy course if you decide to join HSI. So you'll get all of that awesome money mindset stuff, which is really perfect to do in tandem with the strategic business work at the same time. And you not only get to work with me, but you get to work with my amazing team. So Latondra, who's here, is our certified Strengths Finders coach and experienced executive coach that's going to help you get out of your freaking way and make things happen in your business. We also have Natalie, who is my director of program. She's a master certified life coach. She's also built a brick and mortar 7-figure business, and she will also be coaching you and teaching you in the program. You'll get access to Grace, and she'll teach you our sales strategy. You get access to Brittany, my creative director who runs our marketing, and you'll be able to learn the marketing strategies that we use. So you'll actually get access to my whole team as well as myself in the program. So, and it's priced very competitively, so you don't want to miss this, okay? So check that out. If you've got questions about it, let me know. But what I want to know right now is, was this helpful for you guys? Do you feel like you got some aha moments that you know what moves you need to make in 2020? Let me know. And again, if you want my help with implementing these different pieces, then you should apply for a call. It's really no pressure. In fact, we might try to talk you out of joining if we don't think you're a good fit. So we're not, this is definitely not used car salesman status. But yes, I would love to hear from you guys. Like, tell me what ahas that you got out of this workshop or what was helpful for you. Okay, let's see. Elisa says, very helpful, thank you. Leandra says, yes, this was very helpful, a great reminder. Julie says, definitely helpful, so helpful, thank you. I'm so excited about HSI. So am I, Amy, and I'm so glad you're joining us. Mary Alice says, I've learned that I have a big gap in my marketing system. It's entirely dependent on me, and that's got to change. Absolutely, Mary Alice. So now you know, and now you're ready to take action on it. Allison says, just good, refocusing on my glow up work. Awesome. Julie says, I love a good framework. Me too. If you don't have a system or model, it just feels so big and overwhelming, right? So when you've got a system and a step-by-step process, it really helps you and it helps your clients work through the work that they need to do to get the result. Jen says, clarity on prioritizing. I love that. Myrna says, I got a lot of work to do to make my stuff sustainable, so I'm not dependent on resting on my laurels. Yes, Myrna. Oh my gosh, there's so much opportunity for you. You should definitely check out HSI. I think it would be amazing for you. And I think you would love some of the other women that are in that program. Awesome, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sticking it out through the tech issues. I'm so glad this was valuable for you guys. Definitely check out Hello 7. If you click the link that Dalia posted, you can just learn a little bit about the program. There's a little bit of details there, and you just fill out the application, and then we'll book a call with you over the next week. We will get filled up, so go ahead and book your call now. Do not wait, because the calendar is already half full for next week. But I hope to see y'all inside the program, and if not, just get out there and kill it. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.